And in the world of commodities, our focus on our commodities market update is non-oil exports with particular reference to cocoa. Well, Nigeria's non-oil export is said to have jumped by 55% in 9 months of 2017. Let's speak to Pamela Basiduk, one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company, to tell us more. Hello, Pamela. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, non-oil exports in Nigeria is growing rapidly to $1.26 billion, but constitutes only 7% of total exports. Should we be happy at this development?
Well, it's a welcome, but then let's look at it this way. So in terms of contribution to GDP, non-oil contributes approximately 90%, while oil and gas contributes approximately 10%. But the reverse is the case in terms of contribution to revenue. Oil and gas contributes approximately 93%, while non-oil exports contribute 7%. So although it's the uptick in all non-oil exports, it's great news for Nigeria. It still has limited impact on revenue. So what this shows is that Nigeria is still all dependent. So if anything happens to, for instance, oil prices fall, or there's a disruption in our oil production due to renewed militant activities in the Niger Delta region, they are most likely going to be, the economy in Nigeria is most likely going to be in trouble. But then let's just also look at what non-oil exports comprises of. It comprises of agricultural commodities, and it also comprises of manufactured products such as fermented cocoa beans and cocoa butter. And then you've seen the government has increased its diversification efforts through social intervention programs, and also in the manufacturing sector, as the manufacturing sector was the highest beneficiary of banks' credit allocation. But in all of this, there is still a huge room for improvement.
All right, let's look at cocoa as a commodity. Now, the prices have risen significantly by 2.74%. To about $1,985 per metric ton. Now, what is driving the surge in prices?
Yeah, so cocoa reached a six-week high on the back of a stronger British pound to the US dollar. We've seen signs of thinning supplies and robust demand from Euro countries, which are the world highest consumers of cocoa. And then we've seen an increase in cocoa processing in Asia and Europe region.
Okay, Pamela, what is the impact of the rise in cocoa prices on the Nigerian economy?
Yeah, so it's going to impact Nigerian economy positively in terms of trade surplus, GDP growth, and employment. So let's take trade surplus. In terms of higher prices means more revenue for the government, which translates to a boost in foreign exchange earnings. And then as cocoa is a major agricultural export produce, and then we're the sixth producer in terms of globally, and then we're the fourth largest in sub-Saharan Africa. And then presently we're producing 250,000 tons in 2017, and then there's speculations that we could even increase this potential to 500,000 tons. So definitely higher prices means more trade surplus for Nigeria. In terms of employment, we know that agri sector is labor intensive, and it supplies or provides above 40% of employment. So higher price does encourage increase in production, which then leads to more jobs being created for Nigerian citizens. And then in terms of the GDP growth, the highest sector contribution is from agricultural sector, and we saw agriculture contribute about 29% to GDP. So definitely higher prices amid stable production will definitely boost economic growth in Nigeria.
So what is the 2018 outlook for cocoa?
Yeah, so we're going to see demand for cocoa rise. It's going to grow by 1.1% on average. However, the growth in demand is going to be weak because due to developed markets not being able to fuel consumption growth. And then we're going to see that there are concerns about health. Everybody's becoming health conscious. But on the other front, we're also going to see prices fall down by approximately 3%. And then in terms of Nigeria's production, we would see Nigeria has the capacity to increase co-production. So we're going to see cocoa production increase from 205,000 tons to 210,000 tons. That is for 2018. But however, in the short run, we're going to see an expected increase in processing, which will push up demand and definitely push up price of cocoa to the run up to Valentine's period.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Pamela. Pamela Bassi-Duke is one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company here in Lagos. And South African miner Lumni has announced a $1.1 billion impairment charge due to weaker platinum prices and a firmer rand, plunging it deeper into operating losses ahead of its planned takeover by rival Simbaye Stillwater. Simbaye agreed in December to buy Lumni for about $382 million to create the world's second biggest platinum producer to try to ride out depressed prices for the metal. It said it planned to cut a third of Lumni jobs. Simbaye spokesman James Wellsett said on Monday that Lumni's results did not change the takeover deal as Lumni's assets remained the same and its resources intact. Platinum has tumbled in value because of bloated supply and falling demand from the automotive industry, where the metal is used in technology to cut vehicle emissions. Lumni has also suffered because of high costs and labor unrest. Still in South Africa, petrochemicals group Sasol expects half-year profit to lift as much as 6% on the back of higher crude oil prices. Sasol said core headline earnings per share for the 6 months ended December 31 are expected to increase by between 1% and 6% compared with core HEPS of 17.41 Rand for the same period in the prior year. HEPS is the main profit gauge in South Africa, which strips out certain one-off items. And Zimbabwe, which has the world's second biggest platinum reserves, may lift a requirement that companies mining the metal or diamonds must be at least 51% owned by black citizens of the country. Mangwana, who became president in November after Robert Mugabe resigned under pressure from the military, has announced that the ownership requirement on all other minerals will be abolished, and the government needs to assess its platinum and diamond industries more carefully. Platinum and diamonds are key exports for an economy that has halved in size since 2000 after a land reform program slashed shipments of crops such as tobacco and roses. While the world's two biggest platinum companies, South Africa's Anglo-American Platinum Limited and Impala Platinum Holdings Limited, operate mines in Zimbabwe, they have slowed investment plans because of concerns over the ownership law. Both companies have been forced to cede part of their concessions to the government. And a consortium composed of BP and Cosmos Energy has won exploration rights to 2 offshore oil blocks in Sao Tome and Principe Exclusive Economic Zone. The 2 companies won Block 10 and 13 in a restricted tender. They beat a second consortium of Portugal's Galp, Energia and Total. And oil prices rose, lifted by healthy economic growth as well as the ongoing supply restraints by a group of exporters around OPEC and Russia. Spot Brent crude futures were at $69.33, up 30 cents from their last close, not far off the January 15 3-year high of $70.37 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $63.90 a barrel, up 33 cents from their last settlement. WTI hit its highest since December 2014 on January 16 at $64.89 a barrel. And that's it on the program for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu.